With the highly contagious Omicron variant on the rise, schools and colleges are switching between online learning and in-person learning. This rapidly evolving situation has been both beneficial and harmful for college students and seniors applying to college.
So I go to UCSD, and the COVID protocols here are pretty strict. Masks are required at all indoor locations and are recommended outside. And a big part of the protocols include the phase 1, phase 2, which is what they call it. So at UCSD, the dorms are arranged in suites. And during phase 1, which starts when we move in and it goes for an indeterminate amount of time, we aren't allowed to have any guests. And we also are required to keep our masks on in the living spaces. And phase 2 means we still can't have any guests, but we can at least have our masks off in our suites. So I'd say, yeah, the protocols are pretty strict, but I think they're necessary.
These COVID-19 protocols have been in place from the start of the pandemic, but many colleges have altered them to keep up with the Omicron variant. These protocols may seem strict. However, students have reported a lack of enforcement at many schools.
I do think they could be a little bit more. I think that, yeah, the protocols could be a little bit more strict, even, especially with requiring testing, because everyone is required to test the day they move in and 5 days after and 10 days after, but it's never really enforced. So I know a lot of people who are exposed to COVID, but they don't test. And because the university doesn't follow up with testing, I think this allows a lot of cases to slip through. So my only critique was that, I think testing needs to be more reinforced. But besides that, I support the COVID-19 protocols here.
On the bright side, high school seniors have reported that these protocols did not drastically change their application process or college list.
So I did know that a few of the colleges I did apply to did have a COVID outbreak, but I did notice that the school actually handled them pretty well. They did keep up more with their testings, and they did more quarantine requirements and all that kind of stuff. So it didn't really change my plan. And also most of my colleges I did apply to did have fairly good COVID policies, so I don't think that was a very big factor.
As colleges and high schools are changing protocols between online and in-person learning, it's important to stay updated and be safe and healthy during outbreaks. This has been Eva Rawl with AVTV.